Recording the okay, well, good morning, everyone. I think we have some new folks here. No? But I saw some new names. No, Rihanna, you've been here. Simone, have you been in our writer salon before? Jahaira, I think you've been here.
I
Good
have, yes.
morning, everyone. You're new, Jahaira?
Huh? Oh, am I?
Are you new to our salon?
No, I've been here before.
Okay. Um, Simone, I think is your first time, right? Oh, Azúcar, yes. How are you? It's been years, girl. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm glad. Welcome.
I'm back.
I'm
I'm
glad to see your face.
healthier. So
Good, good. I'm so happy to hear that.
the
Um,
time to write my books. So let's do this.
yes, let's do this, girl. 2024, coming in strong.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, everyone. So, Amina, yes, we recorded last week's session. I could send that to everyone because we're doing, I believe the storytelling session is going to be about 4 weeks. We're on week 2. There's a lot of y'all expressed how you wanted to begin short story writing. So I put something together real quick for you all. And last week we discussed the spark from ideation to conceptualization. And today we're going to discuss crafting your character and your setting. Okay, so let me share this. Let me share this screen. And folks, please don't feel intimidated if you haven't done something like this before. The Writer Salon is a space for you to experiment with different forms of writing, different genres. Many of you will end up discovering that you don't need to stick to one genre, that you may like one better than the other, that you write something that you're just in awe. Oh my God, that I really write this. You know, I just encourage you all to leave your comfort zone, try something new, and let's explore these different forms of writing. Oh, let me hold on, I need to share something with you all, so let me not forget que lo tengo aquí, and I need to put it in the chat. Okay, so do you all see my screen? Yes. Okay, so today, as part of the short story writing workshop, week 2, crafting characters and setting. Okay, so understanding multi-dimensional characters. Those are characters that feel real and complex, like actual people. They have strengths, weaknesses, desires, fears, and backgrounds that shape their actions and reactions. So I want you all to think of a character from a favorite book or film. I hope you're all readers because as writers, it is super important to also read, okay? Especially the genre in which you want to publish in, okay? So think of a character from a favorite book or film. What makes them memorable? Often it's their complexity, the layers of their personality, and how they change over time. So who can share with me their favorite character of a book, of a film, and why that is your favorite character? Anyone?
Actually, it's a recent character from Elizabeth Acevedo's book Family Lore. I think Pastora was a favorite character of mine because of her story, especially her childhood trauma. Sort of made her sort of a matriarchal figure for her sisters, even though like her Flor was actually taking care of her. But I know of having grown up in DR, that loaning out of children to other or better to do family members for domestic whatever that happened with my grandmother, it happened with my mother and my aunts. So I connected very strongly to her.
Yeah, it's very common, unfortunately.
Correct. Yeah, it's a unimaginable sort of way to justify your existence, I guess, and for lack of a better term, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a crazy story that popped out in DR recently because of that. Because
Really?
a neighbor's family got sick, family member, so they went and they borrowed the 12-year-old from the neighbor to help come cook and clean for that family that was sick. And the husband of the family ended up kidnapping the young girl and marrying her.
Yeah, I wish that I could say that was a unique
And
thing,
in my
but it isn't.
mind, I'm like, who lends the child?
They do. Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Like
And
how is that okay? And I listen to my aunts and like my older cousins, and they talk about it so nonchalantly, and they talk about how, oh yeah, they used to beat me and things like that, and I was never allowed to do X, Y, and Z, and it was for however long, and no wonder they all had children very young, and it's just incredible, to think that that happens, and not at all very surprised that that type of outcome where someone is obviously abused or taken advantage of as a child. I mean, you're unprotected.
right, it's insane. So
Mhm.
Leslie, you shared that your favorite character is Noodle from Jason Reynolds. Please share what about this character made her your favorite.
I think it's funny because I don't remember all the details from the book, but I just remember how I felt about the character and how he just wanted to make friends. He lived in Brooklyn. Um, and I think he has some suspect friends, but it's just like he was just like a very sort of honest kid, even though he got into trouble. And I just love how Jason writes also. He gets better and better. But my students also could relate to that character as well.
Jason
Just
is my author crush. I follow that guy anywhere he is in New York City.
yeah, he's very beautiful.
When
Yeah.
he's ever in New York.
Yeah, he's very
Last
beautiful.
time Word Up called me and they're like, hey, he's he's signing his books. Can you be here at 6 o'clock in the morning? And I was like, bet I'll be there right before work just so I could look at that man and listen to him speak. Um, who else? Gloria, you shared Griselda. Griselda is come on, Gloria, share why Griselda called your attention. Why
You
that
know,
character?
it's a very complex character, and to see Sofia Vergara, who's known for being sexy and Cuban, she has had a hard
She's
career.
Colombian.
She's Colombian, yes, she's had a hard career. And this one, she really steps into the role, and she kind of, to me, vanishes into the role, which is very unique,
Nice.
very flawed personality. But this woman who became a drug queen pin in this very macho, hostile
Yeah.
environment. So you see this vulnerability and the desire, but then you see how her transformation, she just became just as brutal as they all did.
And
And still there was some vulnerability to her. And she got crazy as shit. So to me, I thought that was a very interesting character in that she wasn't pretty. I don't know if she had prosthesis on her face, but she
yeah,
was
they
willing.
did. They put a bunch of stuff on her to take away her beauty.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But she really disappeared into it and acted her ass off. So those kind of female roles, I think, are very intriguing and powerful.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Rihanna says that she recently finished Tomorrow, Tomorrow. One of her main characters whose favorite personality was so complex that I love them and hate them at different times. Olivia Pope from Scandal. Yes, I love me and Olivia. Thomas from The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Love it. Love the story so much that I started watching the movie, paused it 10 minutes in, got and read the book, and then went back to the movie. That's from Eduardo. And And then Jahaira shared Jude from A Little Life. Okay. So I imagine that these are also characters that you all wish to emulate in your own story writing, right? So tools for character development involve detailed questionnaires, right? Where you explore your character's background, their motivations, their likes, dislikes, and more. These don't all need to appear in your story, but knowing them helps you understand how your characters will behave in different situations. So it's always advisable that you have your character's personality and everything that involves them written out before you include them in a story. You don't want to write your story and wing it, because you're likely going to get lost. You're likely going to forget that you included certain aspects of personality or background into your character. So writing it beforehand is great, okay? So in the chat, I'm going to share a PDF. It is a character questionnaire by Reed C. You could open it and start filling it out. If you cannot fill out the PDF, I advise that you just write down the questions in your notebook and start filling them out. I'm going to give you all 20 minutes to do this. So I want you to think about your character. Think about your ideal character. Who are they? What are they involved? What is their background? What is their personality? What's so complex or simple about them? Just about as much information as you could include, okay? So imagine interviewing your character. What would you ask them? How would they respond? Okay, so 20 minutes. Where's my thing here? My app, my timer. Is everyone clear? Can everyone access the questionnaire in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Leslie. For anyone who is entering here late, we're working on a character questionnaire for for the storytelling part of this workshop. Leslie created Leslie made the PDF into a Google Doc. Thank you, Leslie, so much. If you could share that again, Leslie, that would be great, because I think Mari just came in and I don't think she has access to the latest chat. So on the Google Doc, everyone, you could just download the Google Doc to your own drive and work on it from there. This is not a collaborative effort, so it's not for all of you to just fill in the same document. Just download it to your drive and work on it from there. You all have 7 minutes to complete as much as possible from the questionnaire. One more minute, folks. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. ¿Dónde está esto? Let's stop the timer. All right, folks. I hope that you all worked on this questionnaire. I hope. I hope so, that you all gave yourself a chance. So let's share. How did you feel about the questionnaire? Did you find it helpful? Let me know the answer to some of your questions. Eduardo, why do you say reverse psychology?
Bueno, they say everything is based in reality. I'm over here. It's like, am I writing about my character or am I writing about me? Let's just go in there and I'll send
Well,
some co-pay money to whoever deserves it.
you know that most of the time, our personal life flows into our writing, and
Yes,
our characters are, you know, what was the word that I was looking for? Inspired by people in our lives and sometimes ourselves. So I'm not surprised there.
worked out.
It worked out. Do you want to share certain aspects of your character? There were some very interesting questions on the questionnaire.
Sure. Maybe it's because I mentioned the unbearable lightness of being, but for those who don't know, that's a character of who begins as a womanizer, then becomes a little bit politically aligned, then goes into trusting his feelings about love. We don't really know whether he actually feels it or whether he's capable of it, but he is trusting. So um, you know, uh that is something that I'm writing a lot about, because we grow up in such a hypersexualized culture. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that that's an asset in today's day and age. Like, if you are an attractive being, sex is a tool. And um, from both in my life and in my character, there have been moments where I'm like in a business meeting and I can tell that people are rather attractive to me, and you know, that's something that I know that I can use as a tool. So of course I'm dramatizing it to the nth degree in my book. So for lack of better terms, our character might psychologically say, instead of pitching for work, he's basically saying, I know you want to fuck me. Do you want me to fuck you?
Is
And
that so? Your character is a playboy?
yes, of course, porque that's all I got all around me. But then hopefully eventually he learns that maybe, just maybe, um, um, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Also, hopefully I get to tell people that the reason why, I'm spilling a little bit of it, but like the reason why I believe that A lot of our people are hypersexual is because of trauma, and bless them for it. They had to, but that doesn't have to be us. And if we are going to help the next generation, we have to say, hey, I know this is an easy tool for you to use, but here's why you shouldn't. And the main reason is because I had to, you know. And so when I think of my parents, of my dad especially, if it wasn't for him using his sexuality, I wouldn't be in this country. Does that mean that I have to sell my body in order to make it in America? I hope not. So that's how we
So
resolve
you want
it.
to read a couple of questions and your answers?
No, I explained it. Like if I, yeah,
That's
yeah,
all. Thank you for sharing.
got it.
Idalme, you just came into the space. We completed a character questionnaire for the storytelling. Leslie, could you share the Google Doc with Idalme? You could fill it out on your own time. The questionnaire wasn't for you to complete all the questions, but for you to get started. And como dijo Gloria, that she Gloria said that it was difficult in separating her natural reactions and responses from the character she was writing about, which makes total sense, Gloria. And why can't the character be based on you or
know,
a version of you, right?
what I was really with Griselda, and I guess in the Latino culture, we talked about hypersexuality. But I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church for years where they made us repress that. So for when I saw, this movie where this woman was using her sexuality to get what she wants, for me, that would be harder for me to do. It would really, so to imagine myself in that situation, just, I know what it's like to be a victim of a predator,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't know what it would be to be a predator itself.
got it. I get it. Anyone else wants to share how they felt about the questionnaire? Leslie, what you thought? Since you're diving into this middle grade YA world.
It was really difficult, to be honest with you. So it was really hard. I just focused on part 2. And so I answered the questions for part 2 for my character. And I also looked at all the other questions. I just think it's something maybe that could be done to come in with a workshop. Like I want to finish all of the rest and then maybe come in next week with it in mind before digging more deeply into the writing.
Yeah,
But
we could do that. I mean,
was-
this is just to expose you all to this type of thing, because I doubt that many of you have seen what these character questionnaires look like, right? So if you want to complete it and have it done by next week, we could definitely go over it next week before the session begins.
Angie.
Go on. Hold on, Simone.
Okay.
Jasmine had her hand up.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Go ahead, Jasmine.
Hi, yeah, I felt I couldn't get beyond the first couple of questions because I just had so much to write that I I think I needed more time, but I agree with everyone. It's like you can't separate yourself. It was really hard to separate myself from my character because it was like my character was embodying like my reaction if I saw somebody that I didn't want to see at a bar, which is usually some disgusting ex or something that fucking like cheated on you and you just want to like break that glass, take it from the bartender and just like hit it over that guy, you know what I'm saying? And that's and then I just started to like write you know, I'm just totally not gonna waste a good champagne bottle on that dipshit,
Got it. So you were
that kind of
triggered.
thing. So it just kind of like evolved into something else, like the whole dipwad scenario. But since Eduardo is here, I think he's one of the few men here. I really think it's really awesome to see that perspective too. The whole because I know Eduardo's is writing about masculinity and all these things. I had the opposite growing up, and I think a lot of it has to do with social class, by the way, and a little bit more like what Gloria was mentioning, this whole suppression of sexuality and what have you. Like there were a lot of things that you just didn't talk about, and it was also seen, as I remember, like cleanliness. Like it has to do with cleanliness and what's unclean and not clean. Does anyone know what I'm talking about when it comes to like expression and sexuality or expression physically?
I understand.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, because I remember that a lot, and even to this day, it's, I think that's why I'm not really exposed to like a lot of the modern like music that is played in DR, like, the dembo and all that other stuff. I really don't know who these people are half the time because I don't listen to it because most of my family is just not associating with that because it's seen as unclean or uncouth. And we are not like this, those people are from the
Yeah,
streets or
and DR
something.
is broken down by social class. So,
Very much so. Like you can literally
so
be completely isolated
yeah,
from a lot of stuff. And I believe for me and like my siblings and my family in general, even my cousins, we're really isolated from a lot of stuff. Like I'm discovering more stuff as I'm being interacted with you guys, because everyone comes from a different region of the country, social class, other Latinos who are Afro Latinos from other countries, you know what I mean? And until you are exposed, because I think people think we're all alike or something, some conglomerate of self. And that
right.
is not true because there's so much variation ethnically, racially, social class, all kinds of things going on.
And it's difficult to remove that bias that is sort of ingrained in you when you grow up that way. So, it's up to really you, like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And you feel your soul start sort of shrinking because, oh my God, what is my grandmother going to think for me doing X, Y, and Z? So it's really just about like stripping down and be like, okay, I'm going to just go in. But it's hard to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. So Jahaira also shared that she thinks all the characters we write will either be us or pieces of us. We are our best known subjects. I totally agree. And it's also the best way to get to know parts of us we are afraid or hesitant to explore. And people use that also as a way to write down all those pieces of us that are not public, but you say, that's the character. When you read a book and you're like, was this you? Right? And authors be like, no, no, of course not. But we kind of get the impression that the character was informed by the personality of the author, right? So Amina shared that a lot of us were taught to be repressed. Idanmi says she loves this. She's going to complete the character. Lillian shared that it's okay to see yourself and your character as a mirror, um, stepping out of ourselves. She loves that it helps identify things that we need to improve on. Gloria said that she created a character who set up a surprise meeting in the bar for a confrontation, which isn't my natural way. That sounds like Love and Hip Hop. Let's see. Mari says, so it's Mexico and Latin American countries. Religion plays a big part, Idalmi says, in separating people as well. Got it. So much. You guys are sharing so much in the chat. Anyone else wants to share their character, what they replied for some of these questions? Oh, Simone, you were going to speak. Go ahead.
So I specifically chose a character I know a lot about because I'm gonna finish this play. It's been sitting here for 10 years. It's gonna get done. And so I chose my mother.
Okay.
It's very easy for me to write about her because all of my poems pretty much have been forms of trying to talk to her.
Okay.
So it is So the bar question. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say is that when I went to film school, they gave us 100 questions for each character. So when I was writing a film, and I had 4 couples, I had to do 800 questions before I could even start writing page 1.
All right. You need to know who your characters are.
And I was so mad. I was like, I'm tired. Like, why? I can't, like, just,
But it helped.
yes, it helped. It helped.
Okay. That I'm pretty sure that was the focus, to help you. And also when you write these things and you have it on paper and you're looking at it, you could see things clearly.
Mhm,
Right?
yeah.
And if you want to
Yeah.
change something, if you want to keep whatever, rather than having it all in your head.
Yeah.
Right? And I cannot imagine us remembering all those aspects of our character. So if you write them down, it's just easier to get rid of or add, change, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Kimberly said that she found this practice very fun. She would have never imagined that her character would be in some of these situations. She's writing fantasy, so it was cool to see some of these magical elements come out. Nice. See? Who else? Who else wants to share? 2 other people raise their hand. Gloria, you just raised your hand. And
Yes, I
Rihanna,
did.
go
I'd like
ahead,
to,
Gloria.
I think, Angie, this is kind of exciting. For me, even the first question was hard about being in a bar because, again, growing up, I'm like, we were taught not to go in bars. And as an adult, I don't even have that habit. I'm like, I'm so weird sometimes. So I had to try and place myself out of my natural routine. And it's a little exciting. That's what I want to say. It is a little exciting. If the second page was harder for me because I kind of really need to think that through a bit more. If I was talking about my mom, it would be kind of hard too. So yeah, I do appreciate taking the time to think it through and come back.
Wonderful. So everybody's down to taking some time to complete this and bringing it next week completed? Yeah?
Yes.
Hey, Rihanna, you wanted to share. Your hand was up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did not get that far into it today, but it was very helpful because it helped me realize how much of the story that I'm trying to write is so plot driven, and it made me realize how much more time I need to dedicate to the actual characters and develop them more. So this was very helpful, and I would love to be able to finish it for next week. Let's
Look at
hope.
that.
But either way, it's making me realize how much more time I need to dedicate to developing the characters and making them drive the story instead of just like focusing so much on the plot. So it was
Wonderful.
very
Are
helpful.
you ladies, Kimberly and Rihanna, are you writing middle grade, YA, adult? What is it?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out because when I first started the story, it sounded kind of YA, but I do want to like make it feel more adult. So I kind of made the characters a little bit more adult. So I'm exploring both of them to see like where it feels right.
Okay, what about you, Rihanna?
That was me.
Oh, sorry.
Real Rihanna, it's okay.
Kimberly.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm trying to do YA, but like not so YA that adults can't read it and enjoy it too. So I'm trying to have some elements both.
Okay, so ladies, if you decide that your book is between middle grade and YA, I urge you all to apply to Las Musas mentoring program. It is opening very soon. It is a 6-month excellent mentoring program where you are paired with an author who has published within your genre. Okay, so go on Instagram, follow Las Musas, go on their website, look at the application and apply. Throw my name in there, say you're part of the Dominican Writers Association, whatever. They know me very well. Sometimes it influences in you getting picked. So just, I've had quite a few of our writers get into Latinx and publishing. I actually had a writer recently get into Latinx and publishing, and this girl was not writing when we met. She used to come in the salon. She then decided that this is what she wanted to do. She started submitting her work. She self-published her poetry book. and she recently got into the Latinx and publishing mentoring program. So it just takes work, folks, okay? And I think she and I started working together in 2018, I believe. And the past 2 years or three, she has dedicated herself to writing essays, publishing articles, and performing, going to all these reading activities and whatnot. So I urge you all to apply. Okay, if you need a recommendation letter from me, I'm more than happy to do that. Just draft the letter because I don't know y'all personally. Okay, draft the letter, send me an email and say, Angie, would really appreciate if you could give me a recommendation. I'll look at the letter, edit it, sign it, and you guys can submit it with your application, okay? Also, the Macondo, thank you, Jasmine. But Macondo is, I think, a little bit more for writers with a little bit more experience, no? The Macondo, you need to have a little bit more publishing articles and whatnot and writing experience under your belt
Right. So
to get it.
because I don't know where everybody's level is, but
Yeah.
go for it, guys. I mean, you just never know. I would. That's what I do. I just apply to everything until something hits.
Yeah. So February 1st is next week, folks, okay? That's next Thursday for you to check out the application on Las Musas and get your shit together, okay? Next Thursday. So don't wait till the last minute to get this done. What else? Okay. No one else wants to share about their questionnaire? Questions, feelings, comments? No? Okay. So, let me see if let me continue sharing the screen. So the next part of this is the importance of a setting, okay? The setting is where your story takes place. It can be as vast as a country or as small as a room. It includes the physical environment, time period, and cultural context. A well-crafted setting can become a character in its own right. How does setting affect your story? Consider how different settings might change the tone, mood, or actions of character. So give me a second. I need to look for something here that I need to be sharing with you all. My God, where is this? Okay. Un segundo, but you will think about this, okay? Let me look up, give me a sec. Because I want to give you something else for you all to work on. Oh, come on. Why won't you open? Crap. Yes, sir. So on the Read See website, there is, where is this project? Oh my God, why can I not find the search bar for this? Okay, here it is. Um, so I want you all to just, when you have time, this is gonna be part of your homework for next week, for you to read this article on setting. Or you could start, actually, you could start reading some of it now. I'll give you 10 minutes. So you could, so that you could familiarize yourself with the writing a setting for your novel, okay? So we're gonna do 10 minutes for this, for you to read this article, okay? And so folks, ReadSee is a wonderful resource. I urge you all to add it to your list of places where you could find information to world build or find editors, and a plethora of other tools that you could use for your writing. We also have a list of editors of bilingual and Spanish translators. So if you're writing anything for Latinos, we could always share our list of editors with you. I would never recommend to have, I don't know, I feel a type of way about having a white editor edit up my bilingual work. But that's all, your preference. But we have the resources. Just let us know. Mm. Oh, you guys are busy in the chat. Oh, let me look in here. Simone, you ready for translators? I would love to have a list of bilingual editors. Yes, folks, let me get this Google Doc for you all since you all, I should. Now, mind you, because you're part of the Writer Salon, you're getting this for free because I am not giving this resource for free anymore. So, I will walk you through, let me see. You're gonna let me share, copy. Got it. Copy link. Everyone in meeting. Okay. I will stop sharing. So I shared the link in the chat. Let me know if you could see it. The Google Doc link. Okay. This Google Doc, I am going to share the screen so that I could explain to you all what this is. Can you all see the screen? Oh, why can't I see you all? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this takes a lot of my time. A lot of my time is based on research, guys, besides me sitting here teaching you all. But as Latino writers, it's super important for you to be educated about the business of writing and what you're getting into. Because a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm just writing a story, but you don't prepare yourself for the impact your story will have on the public. Okay, if you end up making it public, because a lot of you also journal and write for yourselves, and you also have a lot of stuff that you have no intention of sharing with the public. But for you who are looking into publish a book and sell it to the masses, it is very important for you to know what you're getting into as BIPOC people, as Latino. Okay, so this doc here, you will see tabs at the bottom that has publishing resources. Up here, I have 4 databases for you to find a literary agent. Okay. Then you have resources where you could find small presses. Sometimes if finding a little literary agent is too daunting for you, going through a small press might be your best bet. Okay, they won't have a distribution as large as traditional publishing, but they will help you get your book out there, which is something that we did with Malcriada, with Lorraine Avila. We published the book for her, and then Lorraine ended up getting her MFA and getting a literary agent, and I released her from her contract, and now Malcriada is getting republished. But we were the stepping stone for Malcriada as a small press. Don't ask me if I'll publish you, because I'm not publishing people. Not now. My focus is elsewhere. I don't have the energy to dedicate to that. Then you have here how to write a query letter. We also have done workshops on writing a query letter that I could share with you. Then we have diversity in publishing. Please educate yourself about diversity in publishing so that you understand why you are left with the responsibility of marketing and promoting your book in traditional publishing, okay? Because traditional publishing is only giving the dollars for well-known authors, and the majority of them are white. It's not you and I, okay? I could mention very prominent, known authors, Latino authors, that are left with doing all the marketing and production and promotion for their book. Okay. People like Elizabeth Acevedo, no, because Elizabeth Acevedo brings lots of money, right? But smaller people like Alyssa Reynoso Morris, who is a middle grade author. Alyssa dedicated 2023 to marketing and promoting her books and doubled her salary. But this is all she did for herself. It was not her publisher at all. Okay. So diversity in publishing, how much does publishing pay you for your first book, your advances, what that could look like, all that is in here. Read up on it, okay? Then I have a bunch of resources here on publishing different genres. A lot of these are Readsy articles because, like I said, Readsy is a great resource. Then we have how to find a book translator in 8 steps. You could use that information from Readsy, but like I said, I am going to share with you our list of editors, okay? These are places where you can find call for submissions to submit poetry, to submit short stories, to submit articles and whatnot. Is all here through Submittable or Duotrope or Galleyway and a bunch of other places. Publishing platforms. I need to complete this. Ugh. But these are publishing platforms that you could use to self-publish your book if you choose to do that, okay? Self-publishing doesn't mean that you're less of a writer. It just gives you creative control, okay? It is very possible for you to be a successful self-published author as long as you plan yourself with time, okay? Then here, I'm starting a new list, so disregard that. But this is the moneymaker right here, what you all want. My list of editors, of Latino editors, the majority of them are Dominican. You will find their contact information, their emails on here. You won't find fees and quotes because that all depends on what your manuscript needs. Okay, so you reach out to them, you tell them I referred you, tell them they'll ask you questions about your manuscript, they'll tell you if they're available or not, and you go from there. I only make referrals. So if somebody doesn't work out, please don't blame me. Okay? It is your responsibility to figure out if this is the right fit for you, not mine. Okay? I only refer that these services are available and you do the research. Okay? And then down here, there's another company that offers editing services that you could also look into. Okay? I believe on this list, I also have translators, but you will see that in the description of what their services are. Okay, here we have a list of illustrators. If you're doing a children's book and you need an illustrator or whatnot, these are all Instagram accounts. Again, your responsibility to click on them and find out whether you like them or not and figure out a deal and all of that stuff. Okay, I just make the referral. These are Latino bookstagrammers. If you publish a book, these are bookstagrammers that you should be reaching out to. Do not reach out to these people without reaching out to me first. And I say that because there is a strategy to working with bookstagrammers. You just don't reach out to them and say, hey, promote my book. No, there is a way to make them commit to promote your book. And if you don't know that strategy, it's not going to work out for you. Okay, you do not want to send your book to a bookstagrammer and they never promote it. That's a waste of a resource. You want to send your book to a bookstagrammer that's going to be talking about your book on their platform. Okay, so there you go. All right. Where was I? Okay. Does anyone have questions? Let me see. I see the chat here. I'm looking to push myself to publish this year. Gloria, Kema, we can sign up for consultation. Yes, I do offer consultations for publishing and whatnot. Yes, I do that. Yes. If you get an offer from a literary agent and you want someone to look at it, that is not going to be me. Okay. You reach out to the Authors Guild, who offers these resources pro bono. They will look over your contract and tell you whether it's a good look for you or not. Okay. Yes, you can mention me to the editors because they know that they are on my referral list. And if someone is problematic and gives you attitude, whatever, please let me know because I will remove them. That's not the type of people that I want to work with. I have not used all the editors on that list. But there are quite a few that I know my clients have used, and I have yet to hear anything bad about them. Okay. Let me see. Yes. Authors Guild, Authors Guild, Authors Guild. Yes. This list is going to be a paid resource on the website soon that people could pay and download. Otherwise, I will stop giving it for free because it takes a lot of my time to put this stuff together. Where was I? We were on the read see articles, right? About setting. Did you all get to read that? Was it helpful? Did it open your mind to things that you haven't even thought about? This read see article speaks of 3 types of settings when writing your story. So setting of your story refers to the time, place, and environment in which your narrative events unfold. Authors are use setting to immerse readers in a specific time period, geographical location, or even a vividly imagined world. For example, The Martian by Andy Weir is set in space, right? So you need to think about where's your story going to take place. For those people who are writing fantasy, world building is a thing. This article goes into it. It is not, how do I say this? If you're writing fantasy, I recommend the World Building magazine. Google it. It's a resource. We work with them closely as well. We've done workshops with them as well on how to build the story Bible, if I remember correctly, if that's the way it's called. Yeah, and we could get her to come back and teach that workshop because Sivy, who works with world building, is a Dominican author. She was also the one that put together our Salon book, which is a Dominican fantasy anthology. Okay, so World Building Magazine, folks. Google them. Tremendous amount of resource. They have a podcast, they have a magazine, they have a blog, tons of information. Okay, so yeah, anyone wants to share their thoughts on this article? We're almost done, and the workshop is almost done too. I don't have much more to share for the workshop.
I just share one thing.
Go ahead, Eduardo.
Simply because in case anybody is feeling overwhelmed as I was, not that long ago, and I still am to a great degree, but if you are feeling overwhelmed, it is because you don't yet know what you need to know, but that's not a problem because you can learn. So continue working on your art and then also think about the business side of it, and hopefully you will meet in the middle. That has helped me tremendously from going like, oh my gosh, I even was paranoid to write my book and to like talk about it because I didn't know what repercussions that might have in the future. Now I'm understanding inevitably I will know enough and I will feel comfortable enough, and I will have a book under my belt at that time. So chill, take a breath, write your art. The rest will follow. Hopefully that helps people, new people.
Thank you, Eduardo. Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Very important. This is why spaces like these are important, because you later understand that you are not the only one on this journey, okay? A lot of you are still trying to figure it out. Many of you may have figured it out yet and you're writing already, but you know, this is the place for you to share those fears, those hesitancies, the writer's block and whatnot. If you want beta readers, this is the community where you could come and find it because you're here every weekend and you know these folks. Everyone here is serious about their writing, and can help you. Let's see the chat. Love these questions in the article. Exactly where and when will your story take place? Take this time to nail down the details of its contemporary. Does that mean present day or 10 years ago? If it's in a certain country, what city or town? And if you have multiple settings, how long would the character spend in each one? Is this setting a real place? How will the setting of the story? Yeah, awesome questions in this article, right? I also shared the link to World Building Magazine, so you can all go in there and immerse yourself with everything related to world building. Idalmi said that she loved the article because sometimes she is focused on the action, that she doesn't stop to think about the setting or the scene. And to think about different considerations of the setting. Jahaira says that she often thinks about Gabriel Garcia Marquez and how he weaves settings so beautifully into his writing. Like the town of Macondo is literally part of his family. The town goes as the family does in 100 Years of Solitude. That's the only book I have never been able to read by Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try again for my 5th time.
Chronicle of a Death Foretold is probably my favorite. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mine's too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but 100 Years of Solitude, I don't know. Chronicles, Idanmi, Jahaira mentioned it. Chronicles of a Death Foretold is one of my favorite. Just like The Alchemist, I have never been able to, oh my God, yo estoy aquí fuera de la cámara. I have never been able to wrap my head around The Alchemist. I don't know.
Very whimsical, you know, and if that's not your thing, you're not gonna get into it.
Yeah,
It's the
it
same
might
thing as
be.
100 Years of Solitude. If you're not into like whimsy,
Yeah,
A
I
lot
think
of
that's
like
it.
yeah, a lot of like Mitch Albom's books are also that sort of writing the natural and the supernatural, you know, one way or another. So if that's not your
Yeah.
thing, you're not gonna like
I
any of
think
that
that
stuff.
you know what? I agree with you, Jahide. I think that's it. Eduardo, en el amor en el tiempo de cólera, another favorite of mine. Yes. Stacy says that she appreciates the article's breakdown and steps that encourage creativity, requires us to practice patience as we work on our writing. Yes. Folks, use Reedsy. I highly recommend you use Reedsy. It's tremendous resource. So much good information on that website. Okay. So we're at 12:30. Let me share the screen because there is a last part of this workshop. Take a picture of this or write down this question because we're gonna go over it next week in part 3, okay? Which is write a short scene introducing your main character in their setting. Okay, which works, right? Because now you're gonna go home, you're gonna work on your character questionnaire, you're gonna develop your character, you're gonna figure out who is this character, right? And then you're gonna use that character and introduce them into a setting, right? Use the scripted language to paint the setting and show how the characters interact with it. Consider how the setting influences your character and vice. Okay, descriptive setting refers to the more information you provide about that setting. I want to feel like I'm sitting there with this character. I want you to describe it and for me to close my eyes and be able to envision it exactly as you are sharing it. Okay, so those are 2 things. Do you all need, do y'all take pictures? You need me to share the screen again?
Yes, please
that.
share.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the screen again. Okay, so you're gonna write a short scene introducing your main character, and you're going to finish the character questionnaire. I'm also going to email you all. Okay, just so you have this. Once I upload the video, I'll send it to you. I also uploaded last week's video, and I'll send that to you as well. Did everyone write? Bueno, I'm gonna email you. So regardless, if you weren't able to take a picture of the screen. Okay, folks, it is the end of today's session. I hope, bueno, I already know you all found it interesting, but yeah, see you next week for part 3 of this storytelling workshop series, okay? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I gotta get ready to go to Queens. There's a reading that I need to get to. My God, I'm going to Queens on a Sunday.
Stay dry.
Pray for me, folks. Pray for me.
All right,
No, yo no le
have a good
tengo
one.
miedo a la lluvia. It's the train that gets
No,
me
ya me
It's
imagino.
the train.
on
It's
a
gonna take you 2
weekend.
hours. It's gonna
Sí.
take you 2
On a
hours.
weekend.
Make
Okay.
sure
Yeah.
make
Leave
sure
now.
you
Get your coffee.
make sure you
2 hours.
gotta